Hey guys, PURPLEXEDQT here. So if you see my eyes look a little weird, it's because it's 2:30 in the morning, but I really wanted to get this video done so I can upload it tomorrow. I do want to let you know that if you do want to see videos 24 hours ahead, then you want to become a Patreon at patreon.com/PURPLEXEDQT. I want to welcome my newest Patreon, Sarcasm in My Life. Yes, that's their name. So welcome to the Patreon family. And join Facebook so you can get the videos 24 hours ahead. So tonight's video is about Kelsey Berreth, and it really hit home for me, and it made me realize how sick and twisted my own custody fight was. Not that I didn't know already, but reading somebody else's makes it like that much more real. And you know how like when you live something, it doesn't seem that real, but when you're outside of it, all of a sudden it seems like super real. That's what this is like for me. So there is a lawsuit between Kelsey's mom and Patrick. And, you know, to be honest with you, without even reading it, I knew that's what this death was over. It was so blatantly obvious. You know, once you start really getting into things and, okay, now it all fits together. Like, once I read that Kelsey's mom believes this is over a custody fight, and then I started reading this, I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly why he killed her. Like, I feel like I'm living my life all over again, reading this stuff. And I'll explain that as I go on. You guys will understand what I mean. So I'm not going to read you the whole thing because, again, it's 2:45 in the morning now. But I am going to read you the strong points of what this custody fight meant to him and what it means. So the reason why her mom's suing is because Patrick lied through his ass to her, and I don't blame her. I'd sue too. Like, why lie like this? Well, narcissists lie like this. Malignant narcissists who are basically psychopaths lie like this. And the best way that I can explain it is really to give my own personal accounts, my own personal stories, and, you know, have you guys relate to it in that way. And once I do that, I'm pretty confident that you guys will understand the whole big picture. So starting off with the general allegations, like all paragraphs previously set forth are incorporated by reference. On or about Thursday, November 22nd, Kelsey went missing. Between Friday, November 23rd and December 2nd, Kelsey did not respond to plaintiff's calls, texts, or messages. On December 2nd, Cheryl Berreth, on plaintiff's behalf, called Frazee and asked him if everything was okay. Frazee responded with "Here's the story," and proceeded to deliberately communicate a bunch of false statements to her mom. Some of those statements were Frazee and Kelsey broke up on or about Thanksgiving. Frazee and Kelsey went to Cracker Barrel, the restaurant Daryl Berreth likes, together on Thanksgiving, which right there we already know was bullshit. Kelsey agreed to share Frazee 50-50 custody of their daughter, herein referred to as KB. Nobody really gives 50-50 custody, except a judge. Therefore, left KB with Frazee while she figured out what she was going to do. Kelsey had asked Frazee for her things back, so he gave Kelsey back her keys and her gun, which we know were bullshit. On the Sunday following Thanksgiving, November 25th, Frazee and Kelsey had planned to do something together, that he had spoken to her in the morning, and when he later sent a text and she didn't respond, he figured she had her phone on Do Not Disturb so she could study, which is something he said she did often when she was studying or KB was napping. During the same December 2nd call, when Cheryl Berreth pressed for additional details, Frazee knowingly and deliberately communicated more lies to the plaintiff's, Kelsey's mom. Frazee had had enough and wasn't going to deal with things anymore. When he and Kelsey were together, it always seemed like started out good and then went bad. Kelsey put him down in front of KB. These are so classic signs of what people say in a custody fight, like classic. Kelsey didn't always return home directly after she got off of work, and that she had gone out to dinner with some coworkers, and that following an explanation of her daughter's disappearance, Frazee suggested that Kelsey may have flown somewhere with a friend or coworker. After telling Clinton Berreth, plaintiff's sons, and Kelsey's brother and Daryl Berreth about Frazee's statements during the December 2nd call, Cheryl called Frazee again, as they were all extremely worried. The behaviors Frazee had earlier described, which upon information and belief, now Frazee was calculated and was really uncharacteristic of Kelsey. Following the call, Cheryl Berreth contacted WPPD, Woodland Police Department, because we know she didn't contact Woodland Underwear, and asked them to go to Kelsey's home to check on her. An official account, blah, blah, blah. They realized that she wasn't there. And Frazee kept lying. Now I got the hiccups. And Frazee kept lying, saying all this other bullshit, which was not true. In the end, Cheryl got the cops there. They didn't find anything, but, you know, her gun and keys were in the possession of Frazee. So right there was a tip-off that it was a lie. To lay it all out, another disregard of that Frazee made to others was that they were not engaged. They had broken up. She agreed to 50-50 custody. That Kelsey was not KB's primary caregiver. Kelsey had issues which would warrant Frazee getting full custody. Kelsey had been to rehab. She abandoned KB and Frazee's care. Kelsey ran off. She ran off before. On November 25th, Kelsey texted an employer, said she would not be at work. Blah, 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 blah. It is so frustrating as somebody who's lived this to listen to somebody rant such bullshit. Now, I don't know Kelsey. I don't know what kind of person she was. I don't know what she did. I have no idea. But I can tell you that everything he said is so characteristic of a malignant narcissist in a courtroom. My ex did this to me, my little one's dad, nonstop. Almost verbatim. I was psycho. I wasn't the primary caregiver that he was. He took the kid to the doctor. He never took my fucking kid to a doctor. He didn't even know the damn doctor's name. And, I mean, it was just nonstop lies. He called my mother at one point. I'll never forget this. This was like 2010. So it was the first year of the custody fight. This is when he tried to have me arrested 3 times. Well, he tried to have me arrested like 7. He succeeded twice. And both were thrown out and dismissed because they realized it was such bullshit anyway. But, you know, I needed mental help. I needed rehab. I was on drugs. He actually called my mother trying to have me committed. He couldn't get anywhere with his mom, so he figured he'd try my mom, who lived in South Florida, telling her how he was so concerned for me and he was concerned for our children and how much he loved our children and that, you know, I was a basket case and I was mentally unstable and Mom, you need to come help her. We need to get her committed. This was on a voicemail. My mom almost died. At first, she was taken back a little, like, you know, I know she's going through a lot. Maybe she's having a mental breakdown. Maybe this is really happening. And then, you know, like she told me like 5 minutes later, it hit her like, what the fuck am I thinking? My daughter's not crazy. She's not on drugs. She doesn't need rehab. But he tried this with every single person that would listen. And you know what? A lot of people did listen. A lot of people thought I was fucking crazy. And I'm not saying I'm totally sane, but you know, when somebody comes at you like that and somebody like convinces people, I mean, he convinced so many people that I was crazy and that I was the one that needed help. And, you know, he would just sit back and laugh. Then he married the bar hoe that he cheated on me with, which started this whole thing to begin with. And he convinced her to do anything he wanted. So the fact, and why, you know, why is all this important? Because that's exactly what Crystal did. Anything that Patrick wanted, Crystal did. I thought about it long and hard. If my ex told his wife at the time, now they hate each other, and she got karma. She got exactly what she deserved. But the way she lied in court for him, the way she lied to family and friends for him, just everything. If God forbid he killed me, she would absolutely cover it up. And she'd say, honey, what would you like me to do with her belongings? Honey, would you like me to dig her up for you? I mean, that's because he told her I beat my kids. He told her that I hurt my children. I'm mentally ill. I hit him. I mentally abuse him. I mean, the list went on and on and on and on. And I kind of tend to believe that's exactly what Patrick did. That's exactly what he did to Crystal. He portrayed her as the worst person imaginable. He portrayed her as this mentally ill, unstable, horrible mom that beats her kid, that abandons her kid, and she should not have custody of his daughter. He deserved custody because him living at his mom's, on this big ranch is going to be better for his daughter. Now, what's interesting about this, though, is, just take a step back and think about that. Why would courts believe it? Why would he even make this up? The answer to that is very simple. He had to justify knowing that he was never going to get full custody. You can't be a pilot if you're mentally unstable. They don't allow it. Like, you have to take, almost like a cop, you have to take all these psychology tests and, mind tests and make sure that you're stable and you're not going to drive a plane into a tree. I mean, they actually test for this stuff. Like, if you're going to be a pilot or pilot instructor, you have to be mentally stable. They are not going to just allow you. Plus, she owns a home. He lived with his mom. She had her shit together. He did not. She didn't need him. He needs her. All these things matter when it comes to custody. He would have never got full custody, ever. I don't know the history of his mom or his family or anything, but he would have never gotten full custody. I tend to think he probably wouldn't have even gotten 50-50, but I don't know the laws in Colorado. Like, every state's different. But, and I hate to personalize this so much, but it's the easiest way I can explain it to you. Like, everything that he's saying is so standard in custody fights. It's amazing to me that, in so many years, things have not changed. I don't know why things haven't changed. I can't tell you why things haven't changed, but it's like somehow laws and rules are stuck, and they're stuck in 1800s or something. It's time to evolve the rules, and it's time for judges and lawyers to realize that this, grabbing these signs at the beginning of a custody fight can probably save people from being dead. Patrick probably got word that he's not going to win, and he's not going to win 50-50. He'll maybe get weekends. You can never tell somebody from a picture, obviously, but she looks so sweet and innocent, and yeah, she could be a psychopath for all I know, but I don't think she was. My feeling on her is that she just got fooled by a narcissist, a malignant narcissist. That's how I see her. I see her as a victim, not only as someone who's dead, but someone who was a victim of, someone who was out to hurt her and had no qualms about hurting her. In that same sense, Crystal is also a victim. And a lot of people think she's not. She is. If my gut feeling is right about him being a malignant narcissist, then she is so definitely a victim. So much a victim. As much as Kelsey is, except she's not dead. And, I tried for so long to find something complicated in this. It is so not complicated. It is so cut and dry. He found out he wasn't going to get custody. He didn't want to leave. He didn't want to let his poor little mommy down. So in order to not let his little mommy down, he did whatever he could in order to get custody of that little girl. He's not the first to do this. He certainly won't be the last to do it. Thankfully, he didn't kill his daughter. Whether there are other people involved, whether other people, that helped kill or just got rid of the remains, You know, it's sick and twisted to think that, you know, there's 10 people that were involved in this. But it's even sicker to realize that so many women fall for men like this. And you don't know what hit you. You don't know what hit you until it's long smashed you out. You know, I don't know how else to explain it. And I feel so wow when it comes to this case. So wow after reading this that it's just so stereotypical. It's sad, but it's so stereotypical. So on that note, it is now 3:15. So I am going to go to bed because I am exhausted. And this video is actually shorter than I thought it was going to be, but it's still 15 minutes. Make sure I'll do like a part 2 on Monday, but I really am just absolutely exhausted. I'm too old to be up this late. But I promised you guys a video. So make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you check out my other videos. Make sure you check out the other channel, which is Purple Resurrected. And we're actually at 500 subscribers already, which is pretty awesome. So I want to thank you guys for watching the video. Again, if you want videos 24 hours ahead, then sign up for Patreon at Patreon. It's in the links below. I don't need to say it. It's in the links below. And again, welcome. Newest member of Patreon family is Sarcasm in My Life. And yes, that's their real name. So check out my other videos. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. And I will see you guys on Monday or Tuesday. Okay? Have a good night. Peace out.